Hi everybody and welcome back to Relax My Dog. Today me and Milo here, who is extremely tired, we're going to be talking about when it is appropriate to take your dog to the vet. I know when your dog is showing signs of them being a little bit sick, you sort of want to take your dog to the vet as soon as possible, which in some cases is extremely important to do so. However, today we're going to be talking about when it is appropriate to take them to the vet, including what different symptoms you should be looking out for and what things you should sort of wait a few days for. So let's get started. Now before we get started, definitely do go down below to the comments and let us know when on occasion you have had to take your dog to the vets, whether they have shown signs of being ill, etc. Do let us know down below on what you thought of your service from the vets. Sometimes pets can get sick and they can actually make themselves better on their own as opposed to through an intervention or through the vets. But lots of times when your dog is sick and you try and let them sort of get over it on their own, the likelihood of them getting to their full recovery is a lot smaller of a chance. Obviously, if you're a pet owner, you will know that any signs that you show with your dog, you are Googling it, you are making sure everything is okay, or you are going to the vets because you want to make sure your pet is not in pain, because they can't really show you, they can't exactly tell you that they're in pain. There are many signs to show whether your dog's in pain, which I have done a previous video on, but today we're going to be talking about when you should take your dog to the vet. So how do you decide? The best method is to either give your vet a call and to tell them any symptoms and they can tell you whether you should be coming in with your dog, or it's to go in with your dog and to make sure that everything is okay. If this isn't feasible for you, then we're going to be talking about a few guidelines on what you should do if you need to take your dog to the vet and when this should happen. Now the first one is excessive vomiting. Obviously, if your dog is being sick constantly, you need to make sure that this is okay, and they might just have a general bug, they might have ate something in the garden that they shouldn't have, and the body is just trying to remove this. So sometimes vomiting is okay. We've had it a few times, we've woken up and Milo has vomited it downstairs, but what we've done is we've waited and seen how he feels over the next few hours, and if he doesn't vomit again and he's sort of getting a little bit perkier, we just assume that it was some sort of bug. However, if your dog is excessive vomiting and they are showing multiple different symptoms, you should definitely be taking your dog to the vets, especially if you're feeding them and they're throwing it straight back up. It means that they're trying to eat and trying to get better, but it's not working. Now number two is if your dog is acting strange. Now if your dog is acting strange, such as circling in one direction, if they look like they're having some sort of seizure or in some sort of discomfort, especially if your dog is sort of leaning against a wall or they're leaning against different objects for long periods of time, this could mean they are finding it difficult to find their balance, and this is definitely something that you should not wait and see if they are feeling okay with. So definitely do take them to the vets if your dog is experiencing these symptoms, as it could be something that is quite a long process to recover from. Now number three is limping. Obviously this is quite a standard one. If you see your dog limping, this can mean that they've got something caught in their paw. Milo occasionally stands on twigs, like sort of little twigs that get stuck in his paw, so when we remove them he's absolutely fine again. So make sure you're examining the area to make sure there's nothing sort of stuck in there. If it's something that you can't remove yourself or you don't want to remove yourself, definitely do go to the vets and get that checked out. However, if your dog is sort of limping and holding their paw up and has been doing this for a few hours, this is definitely something where you should be taking your dog into the vets to make sure there's not a broken bone or they're in some sort of pain with that area. Obviously when you go to a vet, they can give you x-rays, etc. to make sure everything is okay, whereas if you look at your dog's paw, etc., you can't tell if anything is wrong with them. Number four is if your dog is having white gums. White gums is an indication that your dog isn't very well at all. So if you're experiencing white gums on your dog, this is definitely something you should take your dog straight to the vets with. And then number five is an obvious one, and that is an obvious injury. If they have a break of the bone, or you can see something's a bit puffier or a bit inflamed, this is definitely something where you should be going to the vets to get it checked out, because obviously it's an obvious injury that you can see and you know is not right. And there we have it. That is it for this week's video. I really do hope you enjoyed it and you learned a little bit more about when it is time to take your dog to the vets. Hopefully you should never have to take your dog to the vets for any of them reasons, but if you ever do, at least you find yourself a little bit more prepared. Now it's time for our t-shirt giveaway, which look like this. All you need to do to win one of our t-shirts is pop over to our Relax My Dog Instagram, post a picture of you and your dog or just your dog on their own onto Instagram and tag us at Relax My Dog, and you're therefore entered to win one of our t-shirts, and they are really nice. I'm really glad that everyone that has been receiving them have been absolutely loving them. But that is it for this week's video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to give this a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it, comment down below, and also don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.